Hello again, it's Noob, and here we have a Kaba 8. This one, I guess it's licensed to Hafel? Hafel? I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm really sorry. It's originally a company that started out in Germany, I think, in the Weimar Republic, and now's got a head office in the UK. They've actually got a really interesting history. It's on their website, so I might leave a link to that if I remember. Nevertheless, if I don't remember, have a look at that company. It's, if you're into the history of lock companies and stuff, really, really interesting. Now, I recently picked a Kaba 8, and they are tricky locks, surprisingly so. This one is a some kind of like cabinet or dresser lock. It's a very high security lock, probably like a little drawer lock for high security files. And this seems to be a very popular lock under license. I've seen a few. There's just Kaba on their own. There's the Hafel one here. I've got another one which is a Kaba 8 Asba one, which actually has an extra pin on a third axis. I've seen on Talanpix videos, there's even a couple more. So the Kaba 8 seems to be like a very popular high security option for licensing out to other lock companies. Yeah, don't know why, but there you go. A tricky pick. The driver pins are slightly beveled, and that does mean that they're genuinely hard to pick, because you've got to pick them over and over and over again. Now, I was picking this the other day and I opened it up, but also not quite. I forgot that that this lock can't open both ways. It only opens this way, so it would make sense to actually open it from this position where this would be locked, as opposed to this position where I picked it with counterclockwise tension and ended up, it moved like the smallest amount to the left, counterclockwise the core, and then stopped, and I couldn't figure out why. It's after about 5 minutes of scratching my head, I thought, it's because it can't open both ways, can it? So this time I'm going to actually open it from this position where the lock is locked, and I'm trying to open the lock. That would make some sense. It looks like it's guttable, so we'll have a look at that a bit later, but no, it won't be guttable. I'll tell you what, because these have little dimples in the core which stops this from coming out. This one, which is just a standard Kaba, this was given to me by Talanpix, and this is drilled out so you can actually slide off these covers like that. So that's something to bear in mind. That I won't do a gutting of this one because of that dimple, and I like this lock and I just don't want to drill that through. So it's just going to be as it is from the factory. These two screws here will just take this off, so you can have the I don't know what you call it, the locking bolt assembly. You can remove that and put a new one on, I guess. Right, anyway, enough waffling. How am I going to pick it? Well, luckily for me, Talanpix sent me some homemade picks he uses in various locks. I think this is for the Tessa, is it the 10? But he sent me another one which for the Kaba 8s. Now, what I found is, because you've got to pick these pins over and over and over again, it's not actually hard to get on top of the pins. You can feel them quite easily. I like to just butt up against them and then slide up like that, and then slide. There you go. But to do that over and over and over and over and over again is surprisingly, well, is it difficult? It's just slow. So I've marked out roughly, again, it's not 100%, but roughly where the pin positions are, just using a marker like this, and that honestly just saves so much time. You still got to be able to discern whether something's binding and how much tension to use and pressure. But in terms of just having to like get on top of each pin in turn and spend those extra few seconds getting on locating center to those pins, honestly, this will save you so much time. If you ever have a Kaba 8 to pick, I would highly recommend you just mark out your pin positions. It'll save you loads of time just making sure that you can quickly get onto your pins. The other thing to note about this, and I don't know why, is you look at these two keys, you think that these both Kaba 8s, they're the same, but they're a mirror image of each other, which means that for some reason in this lock, the pin on the left hand side is the first pin that you come across in the lock, while in this lock it's the opposite. it's actually the pin on the which would be the right hand side, because obviously that rotates around, that is the first one in the lock. So they're like mirror images of each other. Again, I have no idea why, it's just a bit of an observation. Anyway, sorry about the bit of a the lesson there, but I always feel that just picking a lock can be a bit old. So if there's something to say about the company, the lock, anything I've come across, any hints and tips or otherwise, it's always good to get them out of the way. Right, anyway, let's throw some advice and buckle in for probably quite a long picking process. Okay, so we're in the vise. I think that'll probably hold. Got to be held in quite tight. And it seems to work, so yep, let's try it. Here's my tension tool, and I'm going to, oh I forgot, I'm going to tension it this way because it's got to open this way, always forget. And then really we got to just go through. Oh, I didn't show you the key, did I? I've noticed that Kaba really like the mixture of highs and lows and highs and lows. Some of these are very high set pins, like you've got to push them all the way in. Some you barely need to touch, like these very big dimples. That means that the key pin recesses into that dimple really deeply, which means you don't need to press it in as hard. Yeah, it's a heck of a lock. I can't remember which way around this binds. Is it which side first? It tends to bind on one side before the other. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the right hand side that we need to do. So that, yeah, already on pin 1 the right, 2 on the right, a little click, nothing on 3. 4's binding. 4 there, little click. So it's interesting. And what I'd like to do is just try to go along each pin in turn over and over again, just to see if I can get it to a point where it sort of stops clicking on one side. Then I can swap over to the other side and see if there's anything binding that side. And you might not be able to hear it, that little crunchy sound as we move incrementally closer. But at the moment I'm almost at the point where I'm not feeling, or maybe just on pin 2 on the right, any more of these pins bind. So you get to a point where you think, I'm not hearing that little subtle noise. So I am on 1, built on 2, 3 and 4 feel spongy. So I feel that we're still nothing on 1 now, nothing on 2. Right, so this means I'm going to try and start on the right, left hand, yeah, left hand side. 3, 4, tiny clicks, but nothing major. 1 spongy, 2 spongy, 3 little click, 4, 3, nothing on 4, nothing on 3, nothing on 2, 1. Okay, so that means that we might progress the left hand side. Now 2 is clicking on this side. Okay, now weirdly, it all feels pretty much picked on the right hand side now. So it might just be a case of, there you go. So on the left hand side now, I can feel some clicks on pin 3 there, 2 and 4. So we're going to cycle between them until they feel loose again. Then try 3 and 1. If not, then I could try the other side. It was, so I just felt pin 2 on the right click, and 3 and 4 there. You've got to be so patient with a lock like this, honestly. There's no advantage to you going faster than I am, because it's all about testing each pin, just subtly manipulating it if you feel that it's binding, which 1 and 2 there are. Now keeping, and 4 there, and just keeping constant pressure on as well with the tension. And don't worry, you can get a little bit of cramp doing this as well. Let's try again. Pin 1, 2 solid, 3, 4, 1. I felt a movement there. 4 there, nice click. Nothing on 2. It's all on the right hand side now. Okay, nothing there. So I'm going to go to the other side and just see if I can progress this. Time to click on 3, nothing on 4. So back to the right hand side now. You can see how this is a matter of patience as much as it is everything else. Okay, back to the nice click on 1 on the left hand side. Nothing on 2. Nothing on 3, nothing on 4. Okay, back to 1. 1 solid, so I think that's fine. 2 now is binding. Let's click on 2. Nothing on 3, nothing on 4. Okay, so back to the other side again. Nothing on pin 1 on the right. Nothing on pin 2 on the right. Three, really nice click. Nothing on 4. Back to pin 1. Pin 2 on the right. Nothing. 3 on the right. Nothing. 4 on the right. Nothing. Okay. This side. Nothing on 1. Nothing on 2. I don't think. No. 3 now. And 4. So let's try. That's pin 4 there. Okay, so it feels honestly picked, so it must be something we haven't picked yet. So let's try it on this side then. It was just pin 2. There we go. And we've got that open. Phew. Now, I know it sounds crazy, but that wasn't horrendously difficult. It was just a very, very long pick. And I find that this is the way with these. I'm sure there are people who can pick these faster. But you can see now I can hopefully... actually, no, I can't do it that way. You can see how this is fully open now. So I can show you that. I don't want to over-rotate in case somehow I get a pin stuck or something weird. But yeah, you can see that I can rotate this around and that latch is moving. I've got to be careful not to over-rotate these things, because what tends to happen is that somehow I move something around and then driver pins drop into empty chambers, and it's all terrible. I've ruined locks before by doing that, but you still got full control of that. I can take the back off if you would like to see that. But like I said, we won't be able to gut this, I don't think. Maybe I'm wrong, but if we don't know, if we don't try, we won't know, will we? So let's have a go. Oh, didn't type in me collect. Yeah, that's what I suspected. saying that, maybe it's possible. Maybe. It is a good idea to gut these things if you can. It's always nice to see what's inside them. I'm just going to put these little screws in here. Need a small screwdriver for those. Too big. Oh, that's tight. Tell this is new because all the Loctite on here is really kind of stiff. That this blue stuff on here. Right, that's the back. That's three. Okay, I've got to figure out how to. I can always watch it back, can't I? Oh, that's cool. These little things here engage with this. So as it turns it round, it must do this movement, which is kind of cool. I like that. Very cool. Okay, so let's take the back off. And put these screws down here. I think they're different enough that I can figure it out. Let's see. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. Now, what I do know about this is the springs in these are absolutely awful. So I'm assuming I can just use a 10mm follower. Oh, I can't. That's not 10. That's a 12mm. Followers. I must have one of these at work, right? Oh, look at that. That's a set of concentric followers that I made, and this. So I've got to do one side at a time. These are the key pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Get on there. Oh, there's some really nice serrations in here. I didn't expect that at all on these key pins. That's for that side, then that's for that side. Okay, that's the key thing. That's the chambers here. Not as much to see there. That's the key. That there. Right, just flip these around. I probably got this 100% wrong, haven't I? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it should be, like that. Okay, I'm trying to stagger them so that they're all right. So now if I go backwards, so that was fits that way. That's right. So that is that one, which is the first one to come out. So as I work backwards, this will be the same but in reverse. Okay. So, oh, I dropped a pin already because I got it the wrong way round. So 2 seconds. Gotta watch out for these little caps. They are beveled. I don't know whether you can see but that's why it takes so long to pick, because as you pick one, another one drops back into the keyway and binds again. And these are the worst springs in the absolute world. I hate Kaba 8 springs. They damage easily, and they're just horrific in general to deal with. So there we go. So that's... I keep dropping them. That's 2. What I might do is just speed this bit up, I'll be honest, because it's going to be really boring and just have me moaning about how much I can't stand Kaba 8 springs. Right, we did it. I didn't think we'd do it, but I did it, and actually it just shows that making some concentric followers out of some camping bellows is a really good idea. Go see the video on this. So there we go. Now the last one I did had these little bits here which stop the pins from going to the keyway. This little step, and I guess can act as a bit of an overset trap, like a spool. But these I didn't see in the last Kaba 8, which are torpedo pins. So they're still flared at the end here, so that's bigger at this end so that it doesn't fall into the keyway. But you've got this big spool-like serration and another lip here. So it's like a spool torpedo pin. Very cool indeed. And some of the smaller pins are just mildly flared out at the top like that. You'll also see that there are what we call balanced stacks. So where you have a shorter key pin, you have a longer driver, and where you have a longer driver pin, you've got a longer key pin, you've got a shorter driver pin. So that's, yeah, they're roughly balanced stacks. It just means there's more space there. So when you put them side by side, you see that they are all roughly the same height with their corresponding driver pins and key pins together. So yeah, high security locks. A difficult but not impossible pick, just one which you need to be extremely patient about. That's about it really. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.